Welcome, everybody, to the Pipeline Podcast. I am your host, Kevin. I'm here joined by
Camrin.
And we got our boy Jason up in this chat.
Yeah. I don't need to be introduced. I can do it myself, Kevin.
Introduce yourself then, Jason.
Yeah,
No,
give
I'm
yourself
scared
a
now. Let's go.
All right. Well, before we get into our main topic, I just wanted to give a shout out to my boy Rylan at work. I couldn't be recording this right now without him here, at work, because he took a shift that I was going to do. I was going to get off way later. This would have been a whole ordeal recording it, so I just got to thank you, my boy. Rylan, I do this for you.
I do it for you.
Some heroes don't wear capes. He might wear a cape. I don't know.
He's the only guy that wears a cape to work.
He actually wears a cape.
Dude, we got a good movie that came out, and it was surprisingly good.
I was
awesome.
I was pretty surprised at how well it was, how
I
everything
think it was
went.
great, dude.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was really
it's great.
good.
We're talking about Suicide Squad. That came out last night on HBO
I don't think it came out
Max.
last night. I think it came out a few days ago.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, it started
Doesn't
streaming
matter.
on HBO Max last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we
Gotcha.
go.
All right. Well, yeah. We
Well,
watched that.
I
Cameron and I
gotta-
sat down.
I gotta say that when I saw that Idris Elba was gonna be in it, I was like, well, this is probably already gonna be off to a hot start. And I was not disappointed because as soon as he came on screen, I was like, well, he's so far the best actor I've seen in this movie.
Idris Elba.
And it's
That's
like-
the main character, right?
Yeah.
Bloodstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bloodsport.
dude, I really like him.
Bloodsport.
Any movie he's in, even if it's really fucking terrible. I don't know a lot of terrible movies that he's done, but I've noticed that in every movie he's in, he's freaking awesome.
Yeah, he's a really
He
good
steals
actor.
the show.
He
does
is
a good
real good.
John Cena
Yeah,
stole the show for it.
John Cena did
John
actually
Cena
a
was
really
pretty
good.
freaking good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did a really good performance. I
Dude.
didn't think it would be that well put together compared to the trailers, what they showed.
Yeah.
But he was actually really good.
From WWE wrestler to now a really good actor. It's gotta, your career's got to start somewhere, but it was a fucking really good start.
He's heading the same train as
Wait,
Dave
wait.
Bautista.
Wait, that's not where his career started because I remember he was on some Fred movie.
No, he
You guys
was in
remember
WWE
Fred?
before Fred.
Yeah, he was on a WWE movie
Okay.
before Fred. Or,
Okay,
yeah.
I thought you meant from WWE, and that's his first movie. I was like, wait, no, he's
No,
been
no,
in weird
no.
movies
He's in
before.
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
Fast
Yeah.
9. That movie was garbage.
Was it?
Oh, bad. Dude, that movie was absolutely. Can I go on a little rant about
Yeah,
that
yeah.
movie for a
Yeah.
hot minute? So Fast 9, terrible movie. At first, you're going into it and you're not expecting much. I wasn't. I was expecting it to be garbage, which it was. But I guess this movie still has fans, and the theater was packed, and it had already been a week since it's been out when I went. And I was surprised at how many people were there. But the amount of jokes that were said in the movie and the amount of laughs that were in the movie, made from the crowd to the movie was so far apart. They would make a joke a lot of the time in the movie and nobody would even laugh. And it was just a dead silent pause in the movie. I'm like, guys, the joke didn't land. You shouldn't have put a pause there for a reaction. There are parts of the movie, this one, they go to space. So they went from street racing to go to country street racing. And then they went from that to they're becoming agents now. And now they're just yeah, we're going to go to space. Fuck everything else. Fuck logic and everything. Some bad guy that John Cena plays as in the movie is going to launch a satellite, and we got to go take that out. But Vin Diesel in the movie, he takes himself way too damn seriously. That man has the most boring acting in that entire movie. At least the other characters added a little bit of spice to their performances.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but at least there it'll be oh, I taste the salt, barely.
Yeah.
But he was just vanilla, dude. He was the most serious person in the movie. He was always just quoting how he's a good dad. That's all he thought about was his child. And I get it, fathers love their children, but when you're in a dying scenario, you're not just going to think of that one time you hugged your kid in the garage teaching him how to work on a car. You're going to think about a lot more than that. There was a scene that really pissed me off at the beginning. They're driving through the jungle, and there's a rope bridge that's like attached to a slab of concrete.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it's in the trailer, yeah. He drives into it, and he like it catches his tire, and he like grappling hooks like around the mountain. And in that scene, I was sitting next to a mechanic, and he turns to me, he was like, dude, the axle flown right off. They'd have died.
It would have just gotten either the rope would have break or the axle would have went right off the car. There was no way that thing was stable.
And then he rolls it, and then they come out, and there's no scratches on them whatsoever. Like none of, like the woman's hair that was in the car, not messed up or anything, perfectly normal. There's a scene where like one of the characters, he's in a truck and it's gonna explode, so he's trying to figure out how to get out of it before it explodes, and at the same time it's like wedged between a cliff, so it's sliding down slowly, and so he gets out of it. He's like, man, I thought that was gonna be the end, and it falls on him, and he like comes out from behind it. He was like, I almost just died, and he starts walking away, and it explodes. That was the one good joke of the movie that really got me. I was like, all right, that's pretty good. But there's a scene in that movie that really also like that fucking. All right, so there's a scene where one of the characters that have been through the movies has said like, I think we're invincible, and everybody laughs at him. They're like, oh, what? And he was like, no, hear me out. We've been on all these adventures, you know, we've survived bombs, we've survived landmine fields, we've survived all this crazy stuff. I think we might be invincible. Someone's looking out for us, or maybe we have superpowers. And well, like that's what I was thinking in my head. But the other character's like, yeah, you know what? I think he's onto something. The girl's like, really? And he's like, yeah, you know, if you really think about it, I think he's just a complete dumbass. And I was like, but he's right. I mean, you guys don't even want to consider the fact that somebody's out there watching your backs. You've been through so many like scenarios that any normal person fucking dead. Like there's a scene with Vin Diesel while a car's rolling on the street as it's going like 60 an hour. He runs while the car's rolling, hops onto another car at 60 miles an hour, and then hops through the sunroof into the car. But then it goes as if that wasn't stupid enough, they had to put the fucking bullshit cherry on that really shitty vanilla milkshake. You just gotta pop it on there, and they have magnets attached to the cars. So he's like, crank the magnet now. They crank the magnet all the way like up, and the cars behind them don't do anything, but the trash and the stuff on the street beside them are like flying towards the back of the car. They're not hitting the car. They're going where the car was. And I'm like, you guys don't understand how magnets work, and it's really pissing me the fuck off. There's a scene right after that, it gets dumber, where there's a car between these two cars that have magnets in them. They crank up the magnets so the car starts like tearing itself like apart, and then they like push the magnets in a negative, and it'll like fling the car backwards, you know, like
That's not how magnets work.
Right? But he does that, the car stops in the street and like flips over itself. And then once they're past it, they crank the magnets back down to zero. But I'm like, what? You guys are side by side. You don't think that's going to fuck you guys eternally? You should have, bam, like through the building next to each other.
They should have repelled each other, not themselves.
I know.
That's horrible.
But
go back to Suicide Squad.
Movie's like 2 out of 10. Let's go back to Suicide Squad. That's terrible.
What would you
garbage.
guys rate Suicide Squad?
I would give it a solid 8. Like I enjoyed it a lot. I feel like they could have done more, but it was really good for what they had.
What could they have done more of?
It completely rewrote the Joker.
It's not even in this one.
I know.
Yeah, we're talking about this specific movie. Get out of here.
I know, but that's what I'm saying though. Is like I feel like that would have, if they, let's put it this way, if they would have had like a Joaquin Phoenix like just kind of show up in the movie out of nowhere for like a split second to do like not even like, you know how they did in the first movie with the Joker where he didn't really have any appeal to the movie whatsoever. He was just kind of there. Yeah. Like as a flashback almost. Like if they would have had a similar thing, but the Joker was Joaquin Phoenix this time, I feel like that would have bumped it up higher. That would have been cool. Yeah. I feel like that would have been really neat. That's what I mean. It's like having little things like that just to kind of rewrite some of the issues that were with the first movie that a lot of people hated. Because this is a
Joaquin
sequel after
Phoenix
that.
was part of the Dark Knight trilogy.
No,
right?
Joaquin Phoenix was part of the Joker movie. The standalone
okay,
Joker
oops.
movie? Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed. This is how bad it was.
No.
I hear the
I
Joker
remember
movie is
hearing
super
about
good.
that.
The Joker movie's super good, Jason.
I've never
you need to
seen
watch
it, though. I
It's
need
really
to.
good.
I don't know. Oh wait, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, never
Yeah.
mind. I figured that
Um,
life, the society, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
What they-
Thing.
I think what
Yeah,
they
yeah,
could have
yeah.
done better is like some of the pacing. Like there was this scene where the Rat Queen was like about to die, and it just like I get like it flashes. No, she wasn't even about to die. She was like trying to.
Which
she was
part?
controlling all the rats going towards that
Yeah.
giant starfish at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And like in the middle of that, dude, it just flashed to her and her dad on like a tower talking about their love of rats and why they like them. And I'm like, I get that you wanted to have this moment in the movie, but why'd it have to throw off the pacing so hard? Like you could have just waited until like you could have waited.
Honest, that scene would have been better right after the creature died. I feel like it would have been a really cool moment for her to reflect.
That or if she was at
and think about it
gunpoint
then.
by spoilers, because we're talking about this entire movie. That or when she's held at gunpoint by John Cena's character, Peacekeeper.
Yeah.
Like if she was, that would have been a moment to flash back to.
Yeah.
But it just broke
Not
up the
with that
pace.
scene. Not with that scene.
I don't. Yeah,
I like
probably
what
not.
they did
I
with
get what
that
you're trying to
scene
do.
because
but-
it's trying to say there's value in everything. Like that's the whole point of the rats.
Yeah, I get that, but I
like,
just like
'cause she had
in the
a-
middle of it.
Yeah, in the
I'm not
middle of
against
the.
it. It wasn't like a long drawn out scene though.
No.
It was,
No.
It was like a few seconds, so it,
It just
wasn't
broke
bad. I
up
don't
the
mind that
pacing
scene.
for me.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things that when there's a boss fight happening in movie, you don't cut away from the boss fight,
Yeah,
and that's kind of like
unless there are drastic things happening. Like
Yeah.
she wasn't about to die, like I said. She was just getting all the rats to crowd up.
yeah, which kind of sets me. She could have done
I
that
don't
from the
know.
beginning.
I'm not against it. I think it
No,
was
I mean,
fine.
it's not. It didn't ruin the movie for me. I love this movie.
No,
for
what I'm
sure,
getting
but
at
the
is,
same
like,
time,
they're-
like that's probably a criticism I have. Like some parts, the pacing was just disrupted so hard.
Well, no, what I'm getting at is like her power. Like they ended up killing the thing because of all the rats, right?
Yeah,
How long could she have done that?
I
Why'd she have to wait till that moment to do it?
well, I'm guessing it's because. Let me think about this.
I don't think there's any reason. Like, one thing that popped in my head was maybe there's more rats exposed because all the buildings being destroyed. But that doesn't matter because that device she's holding calls them all. It doesn't matter how far deep they
She
are.
didn't lose
'cause-
it either, huh?
No, she didn't. She always had it.
Yeah.
The only time she had
Was with
like
John
not
Cena.
it was John Cena, yeah, and she ended up getting it back immediately. It's not
Yeah.
like she lost it and then ended up finding it in that moment. No, they had to wait till Polka Dot died and then they were gonna do it. Like I don't know why it took her that long
It
to
was
be
rough,
like
dude.
ah.
I mean, like,
Well, she's not like she's not.
That's what I'm
an
getting at. So
action-oriented
much
character,
a
though.
scenario
She's
could
not
have been
quick on the
avoided
draw.
if she would have just done it from the very beginning.
she's not an action-oriented character like Jason is saying.
But
though.
that's not.
No,
like
I
her
know,
character, though.
but, like,
She's
why did-
not a
what in that
actionary
moment was different
protagonist, though?
Than
Like,
anywhere
As
else.
that what's his name, Thinker or whatever. Who was
Harley
the guy
Quinn was
that
in
the
eye?
big old? Brain?
No, the rats were already attacking it before she was in the eye.
The shark got thrown through a building.
No.
She was like, "Oh no, my
I don't know
friend."
if I lost you guys.
Somebody she liked
can't
Hey
do
man,
just
I'm
as
not
much-
saying it happened this way. I'm just bringing
Yeah.
up scenarios that could.
But
have
the
made
other
that.
thing, though, is like you can't use because she witnessed a friend die be a reason why she ended up getting this inspired
Gohan did
moment
it.
to take on. Well, no. Gohan did it right when somebody died in front of him, not when somebody had died and then another person died. What I'm getting at is she had witnessed John Cena kill What's-His-Face. That should have given her inspiration to become more of a hero then, but that's not what any of it revolves around. It doesn't matter.
Another little problem that I found with the movie is like one of my pet peeves with villain
controller
movies
turn
is
off?
when the villain becomes the hero.
Yeah.
Because if I love the breaking of the norm of like seeing what a villain does on their free time or if they're forced to handle a mission, how they're going to deal with it. And that's why I love Suicide Squad so much. I even like the first one. I know it's a bad movie, but I personally like it. I don't like Jared Leto. He was the worst part of the movie. But the first Suicide Squad, I actually really dug that. Like that coming out of the theater, it was one of the best movie experiences I had in my life at that point, which is sad, which a lot of people are going to think is sad. I liked it that much. You know what? So But I think one of the main problems was because I expected everybody to be on the side of John Cena. I was really hoping that they didn't make it to where I was really hoping they didn't make it to what they made it, but it didn't ruin the movie for me. I really liked this film.
I feel like
said.
after when I explained it to you, it was like, I guess that kind of makes sense.
It makes sense as to why, but I kind of just wanted to see everybody side with John Cena. Like, I would have laughed so hard had John Cena held that girl at gunpoint and Bloodstorm fall through the roof.
Bloodsport?
Is it Bloodsport? Okay.
Yeah.
He falls through the roof, he looks at her, and he's like, John Cena just shoots her point blank in the head, and he looks at him, and he's like, why did you do that? And he was like, she was going to release all this information. It's not part of the mission. We have to stick to the mission. And then fucking Bloodsport's just like, oh, okay. Like, walks. I would have laughed, and it would have, like, kept in line, but Camrin explained to me as to why that made more sense
to go the other way.
Being a more villainous route than the other way that I wanted to go.
Yeah, the route that they did take was actually more villainous than it would have been going that route, because they would have been helping the United States by deleting the information.
Yeah.
When in reality, they all hate the United States government. That's the whole reason they're in jail, because they go against it and like kill people, yada yada. So them taking it to release that information is more villainous than taking care of it, in a sense.
Yeah. But it didn't ruin the movie for me. Like, these are just little things that
these are little things why
like,
the rating isn't like a 9 or 10 in my opinion. It's little things like that, but like the movie had amazing like qualities and like the CGI animations was really well put together.
Great.
The comedy was through the roof. I was laughing like every other scene. Jason. Oh, he's still here.
Jason.
Oh, he might have went to go get his nuggets.
Did he go?
Yeah, just for a minute.
What? Bitch.
But anyway,
Jason.
Hold on. Stop calling him. Oh my gosh.
Have you not heard a single word from us this whole time?
No. I
No.
texted both of you.
Oh, was your controller dead too? Well,
No, I've been waiting this
no,
whole time.
not you, Jason. Me and Kevin, our controllers were dead.
It's short.
Ah,
Did you hear
Jesus.
what we said?
No.
Well, I said that Camper said it would be an 8 out of 10. I think it would be a high 8, close to 9, maybe. But I loved the original Suicide Squad. But this one is far better than that one. And then we were just kind of going over positives, but we wanted to know what you thought.
Okay, wait. So you liked the original Suicide Squad, but Camrin told me earlier he does not.
I do not. I thought it was trash.
I liked the
reason. Okay, so to give like just a prime example why I didn't like the original Suicide Squad, the only character that was displayed like how the characters was from the comic series was Deadshot. He was the only one that was actually
Will
displayed
Smith?
like his character. Yeah, Will Smith was the only character in that movie, in my opinion, that was displayed like how. No, Harley was more like Harley in the second movie than she was the first movie.
Oh, dude, she was fine in the first movie.
She was fine, but she wasn't as good. She wasn't a psychopath.
Well, she wasn't as fleshed out to be psychotic, but I liked how it went into her being a nurse and like the manipulation of the Joker.
The backstory is really good. I'm not saying it's horrible, but like I feel like they paid more attention to Will Smith's character than any other character.
Oh yeah, because Will Smith, they paid the most for him. They're gonna use him.
Even then they writ the movie before they had the cast.
Yeah,
they paid more attention to Deadshot than they did any other character.
Yeah,
even though it tried to seem like they tried to make Harley the focus.
I mean, like, Deadshot wasn't Deadshot, though. If we're being completely honest, Deadshot's Will Smith, playing as Will Smith.
Yeah, I know.
But that's peak acting right there. When you get to just play yourself, you know you've made it.
You're not wrong.
But, yeah.
Like Idris Elba pretty much always plays, like, the weird dad, like, in every film he's in now. Like, it's just how it goes. Ever since, like, what is it, Sing? When he was, like, the big gorilla dad? He's been the same character ever since, dude. You can't change my mind.
But yeah, and then like in Suicide Squad 2, the new Suicide Squad, not 2, but they did a better job at using characters that weren't very well known in the DC universe and adding different takes on them because, people don't know those characters, so they can take them different directions. But when you take a high-named character that a lot of people know and love, like Joker, for example, and display him like they did in the first Suicide Squad, it's going to anger a lot of people. But when you take lesser-named characters like Polka Dot and Rat Queen, a lot of people don't know about them. And they can take a different route because they're not a very popular based character.
Jason, did you hear my little gripes with the movie? Like my two little.
No.
My first one with the rat, you responded to.
Yeah, that. I don't know
my second one was the fact that the villains didn't they didn't in my head do what I wanted them to do, which was like John Cena to just kill all the people who were gonna release the information to the public from that file. I just wanted him to bust their caps in and then just like the rest of the squad be like, all right. I mean, that's not part of the mission. I guess we don't have to do that. So
he tried to though, didn't he? He tried to kill everyone that was gonna interfere with that.
Yeah.
So, he tried to kill everybody that knew that the United States had a hand in that kaiju creature being there.
Yeah.
That was basically it.
So what's wrong with it? I'm confused.
I was saying that Camrin explained to me why it wouldn't be more villainous the way I wanted it to happen, but at the time after watching the movie, my gripe was that they were like acting hero-ish even though they were villains.
Yeah. Well, and then I explained to Kevin that like what they were doing was actually more villainous than hero-ish because they were going against the government, threatening them, basically, their safety, with other countries and other people in exchange for their freedom. Yeah. And in Kevin's route, it would have just been more comical.
Government doesn't mean it's villainous outright.
Just means it's against the law, but whatever.
Yeah.
Well, there's lawful good and chaotic good.
What I was going over with Kevin though is, since they all knew what was going on, they had more leniency to go that route of threatening the government. Oh, well, we already talked about it. We don't. But we can jump into like favorite scenes.
What's one of your favorite scenes?
I've said it so many times. One of my favorite scenes at the beginning of the movie, there's a decoy squad that they send out to start the mission, and in the decoy squad, they just have like some really dumb, like
first 10 minutes of the movie, dude, worth the watch alone.
Really, really dumb villains, but they're hilarious. And like, there's one guy, it's like TGA or something like that is his name. I don't know what it was called, but his superpower is he can detach his limbs and have them free float over to people, and he can use them like as if they were still attached to his body. And it shows this scene where somebody like yells at him, "Do it!" and he stands up and he detaches his limbs and sends it at guards that are shooting at him. And all he does is start like smacking them. Like he
bops a helmet down over his eyes.
Yeah, and then it goes. It starts going deeper that all of the original squad just starts getting lit up and dying and everything, and it just shows this guy laying on the floor screaming while the guards are shooting at his disarmed arms. It's just amazing.
Kicking the sand.
Within the same scene, there was another part. There's this chick that's like has the same colors and like dress look as Starfire from like the live action movies, and she like there's a helicopter and they're like, how are we gonna deal with that? And she goes, I got this, and she like does like a war cry as she runs over to it and jumps on the helicopter. The exact moment she grabs it and tilts, she starts screaming bloody murder for fear of her life.
She just dies in the crash with the helicopter.
She was only like 5 feet off the ground the whole time.
I were dying like most of the 10 minutes.
Oh my god,
of that scene, we were just like fucking laughing.
It was great.
It was so good. I love how Weasel just jumped into the water.
It just drowned.
Just instantly starts flailing and panicking. I love that.
The people in the booth are just like, no one checked to see if he could swim, and everyone just looks at each other like,
What's your favorite part, Kevin?
My favorite part? Man, There's so many good scenes, but I gotta say it's gotta be like Harley Quinn's
The Harley
moment.
Quinn.
Because that
kill scene.
was the moment that I was like, you know what? Harley Quinn in this movie is not only portrayed as crazy, but a badass as well. And she knows what she's doing. And she's not just random. She's like actually has depth to her other than I'm a random lol raw character.
Like how she was in the first one. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Or Birds of Prey. She was kind of like that in Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey it was way more that than Suicide Squad was.
Yeah.
But this was this succeeded in what Birds of Prey wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I think in the best way possible.
Yeah, they definitely portrayed Harley Quinn's character a lot better than any other movie.
The advertisements for this film, I think they had one of the most ingenious advertisement schemes for this film that I've seen in a long time, which was when this film was first announced, they released only footage with the first squad in the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
So they released like a trailer with just footage of them thinking that they're going to be the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Making everybody believe that. But then like as soon as like the movie was coming closer to release, they released an actual trailer. Everybody's mind was blown. They were like, "What? Why did we get shown all those characters? Who are they?" They just die off in the first 10 minutes, dude. You don't need to know.
What about you, Jay? What was your favorite scene?
Easy choice. When the starfish is like rampaging through the city, and what's his name? What is it? Blood something? I forget.
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport looks over at the polka dot guy, and he's like, "Hey, you know what that thing looks like?" And he's like, "What? Your mother!" Like the creature just transforms into this giant, like 40-year-old lady. Like, oh my god.
I love it, like, right after that, where Polka Dot fries the foot off the monster, and it cuts to all the people he's controlling.
I'm a superhero.
And they're, like, holding their feet. They're like, ah, like, screaming.
Dude, when he got squished,
It
I was so sad. Because they didn't even give him a morning scene. They just
No, it was
skipped it
just
over
instant
like
death.
it was nobody. But he was, like, just starting to become a superhero. Like, he was like, I'm becoming a superhero, which I assume was his dream. And then he just fucking... like, it was great
It's kind of sad though
comedy-wise,
that
but it
was
was
his
sad.
dream, like ultimately though.
Oh, my God, I
Yeah.
know.
Because like he talks about his mom like pressuring all of his siblings into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
Basically
is kind
endeavored.
of sad that he dies becoming something that his mom wanted, though he resents her the whole time.
Yeah, like, he can't stop seeing her either.
I
Yeah,
know.
like she gave him all this trauma. Like it's just a traumatic thing for him to be a hero, and like that's still what he wants at the end of the day. Like, ooh, that's rough.
I just love it. Where's your mother now? Everywhere. And it cuts to everybody looking like his mom.
The shark-looking one, yeah.
Yeah.
His power was way more badass than I expected.
Oh,
it to
yeah.
be.
It was real neat.
I'm sad that he died because I wanted to see more of him.
Yeah.
Like, I just
That's
I
why
want
they
a
took him
sequel.
out. He was too strong.
He was way too strong. If he kept going for another like 1 minute, that starfish would have been completely disintegrated.
Honestly.
Yeah, if he just went for the eyeball right away instead of the foot, it would have been fine.
Oh, it would have been over in an instant.
What would you rate the movie, Jason? I don't think we've heard your rating.
1. No, maybe like a high 7, maybe an 8.
Okay.
I liked it.
About the same as me and Kevin in a way.
Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's
I did
overall
really
better than the first
enjoy-
one.
Well, I never watched the first one, so I guess I'm blessed. But with this movie, what I did really enjoy was how subtle the starfish thing was, where it controls the person as it's dying, and it's like I was comfortable watching the stars. You guys remember that
yeah.
part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the subtlety to it. It was really nice. It wasn't like
Yeah.
drawn out or anything. We saw a small flashback of it being like essentially kidnapped.
It was
Right?
raped,
Which,
dude.
You know,
Yeah, it was
doesn't-
raped.
It doesn't really give you. It's just very quick with giving you the backstory, and then it like kind
Yeah.
of hits you with like their emotional thing. Love it.
I get you. I just
Demon
love that
Slayer
scene.
needs to take
though.
notes.
Dude, it surprised the fuck out of me how far out they went with the adult
He's had
humor
his
in
way
this.
with me.
He had his way. Dude, that scene, I was like, oh my
For
god.
30 years.
And
Yeah,
he
for
just like
30
shrugs
years.
his shoulders like it's nothing.
Yeah, like, whatever.
Totally calling back to the whole moment where she was like, how would you like a bunch of angry rats going up your ass? He was like, you would be surprised by my answer.
You smoked the starfish.
Dude, that's so bad.
That's horrible.
It was a good movie though. John Cena, his character was great. I like the whole dick measuring competition. That
Well, they played off each other very well.
him and Bloodsport were going for.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning scene where they're going through the jungle, that's probably one of my favorite scenes as well, where they're just like showing off how they kill people.
And it turns out they like kill the entire resistance.
Yeah, they go and they shoot it, like they're shooting people, and John Cena shoots a dude behind him in the chest, and Bloodsport's all like, it wasn't a fatal hit, you failed. And he goes like, nope, exploding bullets, and his fucking torso explodes. He's like, now you're just showing off. He was like, show-offs only show off things when they're badass as fuck. He's like, can't argue with that.
Yeah, he was like, damn it, he's right. I like Bloodsport's nanotech though, like how his entire suit
gun?
was a weapon. It's so freaking cool.
I think
I love the gun attachments that just kept getting bigger.
Oh my god,
Kept slapping them on.
yeah.
so good.
That's like, okay, so his base gun is Destiny, and everything he added onto it is the core of the game.
You're right. No.
I really liked
What was it you liked, Kevin?
let me think about it. Hold on.
Let him think about it. One
I really like
one
I was
character
gonna
I
say
really
this.
did enjoy. Oh, if you're ready, go for it.
No, go for it.
Oh, I actually really did like that rat catcher chick.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't think she was bad. I thought she was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked her and the shark. Their
Connection,
yeah, I guess
friendship kind of thing.
Friendship was good.
She's not really a villain. She just
No.
kind of got caught up doing dumb stuff. She's not
Yeah.
really like a murderer or anything. So
Yeah,
she
I
does
guess
like see the good in people.
it's a mild form of being a victim of circumstance.
Yeah. What'd you have, Kevin?
Forgot.
Oh well, no.
I totally forgot.
Ready to move on to the next main topic, I guess.
Not really.
Not
What
really.
more do you have to add?
I have to add a lot more, man.
I don't feel like Cameron's
Then
added
go. I
too
just
much.
asked you what you had to say, and you said I forgot.
Who's
I
your
don't
favorite
feel like
character?
Cameron's gone like too hard in depth. Yeah, let's hear it, Cam.
No, I did go too hard in depth, Jason. You just weren't here for it. No,
Oh, must be nice.
no. My favorite character was Bloodsport. Bloodsport gave me a really like Slade vibe from Teen Titans, and I loved it. I thought it was real cool.
What about you, Jason?
I'm surprised I wonder if they'll add Slade at some point into this.
Oh, dude, that'd
And
be
it's like
awesome.
a cameo.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd probably whoop everyone, but you know, like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no,
they should
100%.
still add him. Yeah, he goes against the Justice League, but I want to see it happen still.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I like how they gave Bloodsport his background. Like another reason why he's imprisoned. It's because he's so dangerous. He put a kryptonite bullet in Superman, and it was like, wow.
I love how they give him the same description as John Cena's character as Peacekeeper.
Yeah.
The same exact
Yeah.
description. He's like, he does exactly what I do. He's like, I do
yeah,
it
but I
faster
do it
and better.
I do it faster
Yeah.
and better.
He's like, what? I could hit a target bullseye. He's like, I could do it better than that. He's like, how could you hit a better bullseye? He's like, with bullets smaller, goes right in the hole. It doesn't touch the sides at all. They actually use that to fucking kill him off.
I know. It's
Which
cool.
I thought was a cool way to foreshadow how he's gonna die.
Yeah.
That's super neat.
Yeah, the writing was really good in this. Like, there was a lot of subtleties that really just like connected at the end, and it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason this one was so much better than the last one is because James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, directed this one.
Yeah. He definitely did a
did
good
he?
job.
That's
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah. So I also thought King Shark. We haven't talked about him.
Oh, King Shark. King Shark is a character on his own.
I love him, dude. He's
freaking
probably
hilarious.
my second favorite character.
Yeah, he's comic relief. I enjoy him.
I love it when they're all in the club having a good time dancing, and then it cuts to King Shark inside the truck, and he's just bobbing his head up and down to the music.
Dude, that sucked. He's like, I go wear a mustache. He's like, you're not fucking. A mustache is gonna do great.
That was probably the scene I laughed at the most. He's like, I have disguise too.
He has
Big
like
mustache.
a finger over his nose.
Big mustache.
He's like, that's not gonna work. You're staying in the band. He just gets all pissed off. Fuck!
Nom nom.
Any
Oh,
villain
at the
movie that
end.
they make from now on needs to be rated R because that's the kind of comedy that people expect from these kinds of movies.
Oh, yeah.
Not PG-13. Like, they're villains, dude. Make them do villainous shit. Like, we're supposed to be shocked with what they're doing.
Yeah, that's one thing they had really good too was the gore. The gore was
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah, it was Mortal Kombat levels of gore in this one, dude, and I loved every second of it.
So backing up on like another reason why I don't give this movie a higher score. There was one scene that kind of really bothered me. I don't know if it bothered you, Jason, but it's that scene where like they're walking around in the rain killing all those people, and for some reason they just decided to enhance the brightness by 1,000%.
Oh yeah, Cameron didn't like that scene at all. He was talking to me about it like as the scene was going. He was like, "Why does it look like it's fucking pure daytime, no clouds out?"
Yeah, but it's raining.
I was like, I think that's just an artistic direction. Like the contrast in colors is just supposed to be bright.
They had a green screen and decided to make it white screen.
Hey man, what do you gotta do? What you do with a green screen?
I didn't like it. I thought
I don't rate the movie higher because the weasel just creeps me out. I don't like it.
Yeah,
It looks like that one like Fox meme where it's just like sitting on like a stool or something.
and its eyes are bugging out of its
You
head.
know what I'm talking about, Kevin?
It's like if I do. It's like if King Julian were to be like freaking humanized, like that Froppy pig.
Oh God. King Julian.
Oh, get away from me!
Get away. It's gold.
Oh man, this movie was good though. It's actually so good that I might watch it a second time soon.
No, I ain't gonna watch it.
I might
Okay.
actually watch it a second time. I thought it was pretty good.
It was really good.
I hope they do more movies with like in the same franchise. Like I hope another Suicide Squad comes out, but it's a whole different set of people. Like I hope we go through really like underrated villains from like I want to see Kite Man in a fucking Suicide Squad movie.
That'd be cool. You know they're recording the next Deadpool right now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
I saw a tweet that Ryan Reynolds had sent out of like just a picture of him in his Deadpool costume, and it was captioned debating stealing the suit a second time and realizing that now it's owned by Disney. Still gonna attempt.
I kind of got Deadpool burnout for a while there after the first one came out because he was just everywhere.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't escape him. So I got burnt out. I still love the Deadpool movies though. I'm just not as like hyped about it as everybody else.
The second movie, I'm surprised the first one burnt you out because the second one was worse. What I mean by worse is when the second one was being released, all the movies in movie theaters had collabed with Deadpool and made it a Deadpool themed made a Deadpool themed movie poster, but for their movie. It was really like interesting, but very like out of nowhere.
I saw the second Deadpool movie in theaters along with the first one.
Yeah.
And both of them are really good movies. I like them.
Yeah,
but
they're
I'm
really
not
good.
as hyped as other people are because at this point I'm just like,
We'll get
I've
over
seen him
it. No.
so much. I love Ryan Reynolds though. I can't wait to see Free Man.
Oh, dude, Freeman! I'm excited. That's only gonna be in theaters.
I know,
It was. They did say it was gonna be on HBO at one point, but then they got rid of it.
which is dumb.
What? No, I think they got rid of it. Disney owns it. It's a
Really?
Disney-owned movie, yeah. And with all the allegations going on with Disney right now, with The Rock, the girl that played, I think it's Emma Stone, that played in Cruella,
Yeah.
and Scarlett Johansson, they're all suing Disney right now because their contract states that they were going to get X amount of money from box office sales from the movies, but Disney went behind the backs and put it on Disney Plus and didn't release it to any theaters. And so they are still getting money from it, but not as much money as they would if it was released in box offices.
Which is so dumb because Disney's such a rich company. Just pay your actors. What are you doing?
honestly.
Seriously, you have the monopoly of any company right now. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you treating
Yeah.
your workers so bad?
Why
Yeah.
are you trying to scam the people that bring in the money? Like, what is wrong with you?
And I'm thinking like I don't think Disney Plus is gonna put it on there because I think they put this movie out as rated R. I could be wrong, and so they probably won't throw it on Disney Plus since Disney owns it. It's probably just gonna end up going to box office, which I'm hoping it does because
Does
then
Disney
it's gonna
Plus
screw
not
over
have any
Ryan
rated R
Reynolds.
movies on it?
It has all the X-Men movies. Was any X-Men movie besides Deadpool rated R? No,
X-Men
Wolverine.
movies?
the original Wolverine.
Origins?
Like
Origins
no,
or
just
whatever? I think Origins does.
Origins was rated R.
I think so.
I could have sworn it was the Wolverine, like just the Wolverine.
Oh,
Wait,
no, you
either
might be
or.
right. Yeah, whatever that one
Where he
new
was in
one is without
freaking
Hugh
World War
Jackman.
II,
Yeah.
or Vietnam.
Oh yeah, and he like gets all charred and gross looking.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could see that movie being rated R. But yeah, no, that's on Disney Plus because Disney owns Fox, so like they have a lot of Fox made movies on there, and who knows, they might be in the process of buying Sony right now so they could get Spider-Man. But
They're not
really
gonna
hope,
buy
dude,
Sony.
but-
Sony's huge. They're not
Sony
gonna
is
be bad.
massive.
no, Sony's also just super. It's like they don't want anybody. They know that they have a huge character on.
Oh yeah, they
They're
know
not letting it
Spider-Man
go.
is like one of the biggest Marvel characters. One of the
Until
most
Disney
beloved
is
characters.
like, here, we'll give you 8 companies and 18,000 or fucking $18 billion. They're gonna be like, all right, you can have Spider-Man. But
Yeah.
until that day,
I think they offered something crazy like that. I think they offered like
Nah, I
$7
don't think
billion
they have anything
for
that
Spider-Man, and they were like, no.
jeez.
Yeah.
Well, they can pull in more, dude. They can for sure pull in more. Because
Yeah.
Spider-Man's going to be the face of the next, like, Marvel, like, series they're doing.
Well, even then, Disney's contract with them, I think it's more beneficial towards Disney than it is Sony. But granted, Disney is hiring the actors, the crew, and everything to make the movie, and Sony doesn't have to put a fucking dime in it. And Sony gets 30% of whatever profit from Spider-Man supplies that they get out of it. So, like the Spider-Man ride that they just opened up at Disneyland, anything
Yeah.
they sell out of that web store, 30% of it goes to Sony.
Yeah,
But
well,
Disney
like,
has to pay for the manufacturing, the taxing, and all that.
yeah, so
while
that's a
Sony
huge
gets that.
deal, dude.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
free money. Yeah, that's just free money. And they have to. They have to pay for all the stuff because the way the MCU's been set up is for Peter to take over as like that main guy. Because Tony's gone.
To be the new Tony Stark, basically. New
Yeah,
Iron Man.
so the way the story got set up, Sony has a huge like position that they can just hold now.
Before we go off on our next topic, I just wanted to say, go watch Suicide Squad. It's a good movie, way better than the first one. I love the first one.
Yeah,
so,
even if you enjoyed the first one, this one you're gonna like more.
yeah,
I
it's
think
better.
I think the only loophole thing that I thought was weird was when they all turned back around to go face the starfish thing. I thought it was really weird that the commissioner chick, whatever her name is, something weird.
Something
What's her
Wallace.
name? Yeah, Wanda, Cosmo,
Alice.
I don't know.
Alice Wallace or something like that.
Yeah,
Something
whatever.
weird. Yeah, she didn't bring up the daughter thing to him. Like it's kind of like blood sport just kind of forgot about like, oh yeah, my daughter's like life is in jeopardy.
The movie,
I know,
the
that-
movie forgot that.
Yeah, the movie did forget that.
Yeah, like I don't. Yeah, because she could have totally just used that as leverage for him not to go in because that
Yeah,
takes out all chances of him like participating.
That
He's
now
the
that
leader
Jason
of the
brings
whole
it
thing.
up, that scene would have been better if she had said that and then he stopped and then she got hit in the back of the head with the pipe and then they got told she's knocked out. Just go.
now what should have
Honestly.
happened? I think like that whole scene shouldn't have happened. Like, I just imagine her saying that's not our problem. You just see Superman and like the freaking Batwing just like fly over.
And they're like, oh, I guess not.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, no, this isn't our problem. We could go now.
But I'm glad they didn't do that because that would take away from the characters that they've been developing the whole time.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It would have made more sense to do that because whenever a Suicide Squad movie has come out, I'm like, where are the heroes when this like gets world dominating?
Well, I feel like since it wasn't considered world dominating, I don't know how to explain it, but they were like I think they were planning on just getting evidence destroyed in Suicide Squad, and then the heroes would deal with the starfish.
Well, like in the
and
first
I feel like
one,
that's what they
too,
were expecting.
There was that giant witch that like actually was gonna destroy the planet.
Well,
with
see,
her
that's why the
brother.
first one sucked compared to this one.
No, the first one sucked because of a lot of reasons. We're not shitting on that.
So adamant about it. I love it.
What I'm saying is like when she was in the movie,
I can't even
I
look at
just
them.
in my
I just
head
heard,
I was
like,
like,
a faint
where are the
whisper.
actual superheroes? Because this is just a mission to get. I guess the
Cameron,
mission was
can you
to
have
stop
Kevin
her.
like redo his controller?
But at the same time, at a certain point, your
Got
hands are tied, man.
Yeah.
I need your hands to be untied. Speaking of untied,
So I just feel like
that was
it would have been
also
a
a small
better.
little loophole that I thought was lame.
I just feel
Was
like
the
it,
what's
go
that?
ahead. I was like, I just feel like it would have been better in these kind of movies to where, like, if a giant enemy comes up that they have to face, like, just have the superheroes come in. Then it would clear everybody's head of, like, where's Batman? Where's Superman? Like, it would broaden the world.
Well, that's it. I feel like that's what their plan was for the creature, which is one other reason why she was trying to get them to come back, because they want that evidence destroyed. And I'm pretty sure what's going through their head is that's not a threat. We have Superman on our side. And they're going in there to stop that threat because it's destroying a city. It wasn't a world threat at that moment because it was just a city threat. Because when that thing gets to Superman, Superman's going to stop it. Like, you know, it wasn't that strong. Harley Quinn jumped through its eye.
With a javelin.
Yeah, Superman would have just right through it.
We totally missed that. She
Yeah.
carries a javelin throughout the entire movie because at the very beginning, in the first 10 minutes, the person, the name's Javelin, he dies. He just gets shot up. He, like, stands up to look around at what's going on, just gets holed all through him.
He literally stands up to throw his javelin, goes, yeah, and then it just gets lit up, and he's like, and it falls
Harley
over.
Quinn ends up getting next to him, and he was like, I want you to hold this and keep it. You need to do it for...
And then he dies.
He just dies. She's like, for what? So the whole movie, she's like, I need to carry this around. I don't know why, though.
I just love it when she's like, I got to carry this around until God tells me what to do with it. And Bloodsport's like, Jesus. And she's like, or him.
All right. Well, I think we got that out of the way. Go watch Suicide Squad.
It's really good.
Our next topic is going to be scary stories.
We're going to get on
paranormal experiences.
and or real life horror stories, like, you know, people dealing with crazy people. What who wants to go first? Who's got one off the top of
I'm
their
going
head?
to let
They can start
Jason go
talking.
first.
We're gonna let Jason go
Nope.
first. No,
Nope.
Jason, go first.
Jason's not ready.
Nope. I'm not ready.
You're not ready.
Are you actually
Not
not ready?
Yeah, not really. Go
All right,
for
Cameron,
it,
you
Cameron.
go
Let's
for
hear
it.
one.
All right. So, this isn't like anything like insanely like crazy or a ghost story esque, but I had like pointed it out at one point when I had saw it, and I ended up mentioning it to Kevin, and he ended up seeing it too, and it was just like in my head, it was just like a really freaky moment. But I don't know if anybody, how many people that watches have seen Ghost Adventures, but there's a scene in some facility, I can't remember the name of the episode, and they're like it's some hospital, and they're hearing like stuff being shuffled around, moved, and like banging and stuff, and Aaron goes down a flight of stairs, and he turns and looks down another flight of stairs through a doorway. And in the top of the left corner of the doorway, you physically see something move, like across the
scuttle
ceiling.
away.
Yeah, like scuttle away on top of the ceiling. And they didn't point it out. They didn't notice it or anything. They didn't say anything about it in that episode. And when I had saw it, I was watching it with Nicole, and I was like, whoa. I paused it. She was like, what? And I was like, did you not see that? And she goes, no, what'd you see? And I rewound it, and like, it gave me the chills, dude. Because it was a physical object. It wasn't like what they catch on camera with like orbs and shit and or mist. It was a physical thing moving across the ceiling like that. And it was just so like off-putting and unsettling. And I know, I believe like I ended up telling Kevin one day, and I came over a few days later, and Kevin's like, yeah, I've been watching Ghost Adventures, and I found that scene you were talking about, and it freaked me out. And I was like, dude, I know.
Yeah, dude, I saw it, and I was like, oh, God, it gave me chills.
After watching it the second time, I was like, ooh.
Don't crawl at me. Like, if you're crawling, don't fucking do it. I'll kick you.
The thing was
I'll kick you or
scurrying
run.
across the ceiling. It was terrifying.
I have one, and it's not too bad, but it's not great either. There was this one time, me and my boys, we were the gang. We were going around, and over by a lake, there's housing there. So, like, there's not a lot. It's kind of desolate, but there's enough to where it's a community. So we're going around near these cliffs, and we see this abandoned like little shack. It's like a 2-story. I'd say like 18,000 square foot, or not 8,000 square foot.
Jesus Christ.
Place. Okay. My bad, not 18,000, but like 8,000. It wasn't big, but it wasn't small. It was just a little rundown shack that was a house. So me and my friends are like, oh, cool, let's go in there. And we're like, at the time I was about 13, 14. And we go in that shack and we're like rummaging through. This place that I'm talking about that I was near has like 2 occurrences, this big one of them from my childhood, that really messed me up, that were, I would say, like on the borderline of being paranormal. And if not paranormal, it really fucked me up.
It was really freaky and you can't explain it.
Yeah, so there was...
You don't have to take it, I got it. But.
We're going through this house, and we go in. There's like one mattress like on the floor. There's a bucket of piss. A bucket of something else. I couldn't tell what it was, but it was black. I'm going to assume it was shit.
Okay. If there is a bucket of piss, it probably was a bucket of shit, too.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure. So we're wandering through. We find a cowboy hat. I'm like, fuck yeah. I find a BB gun, like one of those, like, like a rifle where you, right by the trigger, like you cock it that way. Yeah, I found one of those. And then we found, like, a real 12 gauge and then an axe. Hell, like, my friends found those, but I start going up the stairs to this place. Like, as I'm on the second floor, I'm like stepping around because I thought I heard like a cough. And I go in each room and there's nobody there. But I start going down the stairs and I hear like very clearly like, leave, like from right behind me. And dude, I took no hesitation. Like I was walking that entire time because I was scared the floor would break under me.
Yeah.
I fucking ran, dude. I booked it so hard. I was like, go, 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 go. And my friends were like running right behind me because they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And we get out there. They're like, dude, what happened? What happened? And I was like, there's somebody in there. I don't know who. I don't know where. I checked the rooms. There's nobody there, but there's somebody there. And they were like, what? So we go back there, dude. There was nothing. Nobody. And then we go back the next day. There's nothing. And we took all the stuff from that little place. But there's nobody there.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Did you take the bucket?
No.
The bucket of poop?
I wish. It would have been a nice drink for the walk.
What you got, Jay?
A hearty meal on the way back home. Nothing too crazy. Nothing as crazy as what Kevin said. Just, you remember that one trailer my mom used to live at, Cam?
Yeah.
Yeah, that place was weirdly spooky. Like, we had this drum set that we got from my youngest brother, Jordan. And just, like, random nights, it would just sound like it was just being, like, lightly tapped on. Occasionally. Yeah, just, like, little, like, doot noises. And, like, the cymbals would occasionally have, like, dink sound on it. There was one time where I was sleeping in... We had, like, a 3-room... split like in a corner, but like it was supposed to just be like one big room, and then the previous owner had put like a curtain between it.
Yeah.
So that way it could be 3 total rooms. So there was room 1, 2, and 3. So rooms 1 and 2 now were just split by a curtain. And so I was on the bed by the window in room 2, which faces room 1. So I looked away from there. I kind of just like kept my eyes towards more on like the window area and just was like trying to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then I hear this like ruffling noise, and I'm panicked because I'm black, so I know the scary movies so I'm gonna be the first to die.
Damn.
So I turn around, and the curtain, which was all the way across, like that way it was covering room 1, was all the way over. And I was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. And I just booked it. I booked it across the trailer to where my mom sleeps at. And it took like It took like 3 steps to get there, dude. I flew. I flew. Like, I was gone.
I'm black. I'm gonna die.
Yeah, I sat on the bed next to her. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm sleeping with you."
I'm sleeping with you.
That's what I'm doing.
There's this. There was one time where I was in the car with Camrin. We're driving to Trace's house, and I'm going really slow down this road, like just kind of cruising. And we're talking, having a good time,
I know
laughing.
exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
And we start hearing as I'm like driving past this one spot, and it's nighttime, completely dark outside, can't see shit. And we hear walking. Like, we both hear clear walking, like crunching of
heavy
leaves.
footsteps too, not like slight like shuffle.
And it
like,
stops
heavy.
when we like come to a complete stop. And so I'm thinking, oh, this guy's just wondering what the fuck we're doing. I'm like, hey, is there anybody out there? And no answer. And I'm like, listen, I heard you. And I'm taking this like not seriously at all. I'm just like, I heard you out here. I will step out of this car and come find you right now. Say something. And I shit you not, I was there for like 3 minutes just trying to call this dude out. I was like, I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to know if you're there or not. And nobody said a goddamn thing. But then we start driving and we start hearing the walking again. And we're like, what the fuck?
It was very odd.
And if it was a person, he was definitely 10 times more scared than we ever were. He was like, why is this car stopping just to talk to me?
Almost wish we had a spotlight in that moment. Just
Oh, dude. Like, I stood out of the car for a second, like, looking
Yeah,
where
you
the
didn't
noise
see
was
anybody.
coming from. I didn't see anything.
It was very random.
And it's weird because there's a barbed wire fence right next to the road. So it's
Yeah.
not like if they were on the side of the road next to the road, we would have seen them.
Yeah. And it was like clear as day walking too. Like we heard it over the radio, and I had like turned down the radio because I thought I was hearing something weird. And right when I turned it down, I looked at Kevin. I was like, "You hear that?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he hits the brakes and he sticks his head out. I was like, "Hey!"
When I'm in danger, I don't take it seriously until last second. Like, if I'm about to die, I'm like, oh, fuck, this is a serious moment.
I do have another weird moment I can't really explain, and I don't know if it was, like, in my opinion, it was borderline paranormal because I can't explain a damn thing about it and how it happened. But Jason, you remember the house I lived in Tucson?
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So there was one time I was in the kitchen and I was cooking ramen. You know where the front door is to the kitchen? Like you know
Yeah,
you know
like
how
directly, yeah.
yeah, it was just
It's
right
like
in
a
front of
straight
it. So I was sitting there and I was cooking ramen. My parents were out for the night. They were out for my mom's birthday doing something. And it was just me, Devin, and Ashlyn in the house. And I have Devin and Ashlyn standing with me in the kitchen because they're hungry. They're ready to eat. I'm sitting there and I'm cooking. And we all hear knocking on the door. And we all kind of turn and look. And in my head, I'm just like, oh, that might be like Mikey or somebody across the street or whatever, because I had friends that lived right next to me. So I
Zach,
go over to the
yeah.
Zach and Mikey and some other kid, I can't remember his name. But I ended up going up to the door, the ghost. I ended up going to the door and opening the door, and nobody was there. And like I have a pretty the front yard was pretty open. And like for the time for somebody to like end up hiding, I would have seen them like trying to hide behind something, because I walked all the way out into the front yard and I was looking around and nobody was around. And I was like, that was weird, weird knocking. And I come back in and I close the door and I look into the living room that's right next to the front door, and a CD case on the table, flat on the table, just pops up by itself and falls off. And I was just like, I was just so confused. I don't know what I had seen or why it happened.
I would have shit my pants as a kid. I'd have been like, you would have seen all the color loose from my body.
And I just ended up like, okay. And I just cooked the ramen and we called it a night. But it was a very odd moment. And like, I never experienced anything similar to that beforehand. And like, Devin and my mom, both of them like swear that the house was haunted. Like there was definitely something there. Like they have their own experiences and I don't know what they had, but they both like swear there was something weird going on there.
You gotta get it for next time.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'll
you
definitely
were
ask them
old
and
house?
see.
I never remember hearing, like, thinking anything was off when I would stay at your place.
Yeah, and neither did I. And like at that moment when I had saw that, my little kid head was just like trying its damnedest to explain it.
but I didn't know how,
It's
and I
just
just
Mickey
ended up
Mouse.
like shrugging it off.
Just Mickey Mouse.
It's just Mickey Mouse, and he's just looking for me. But
Oh.
like, it was super weird. It was super odd.
There was one thing that happened at my work, and this is a weird one because it never
Which
happened
one?
again. At my work at Little Caesars.
Right now, we'll see. Okay.
Yeah, so it's never happened again. So I'd classify this definitely paranormal. There was one time I was working, and I wasn't high, I wasn't drunk, I wasn't hungover, nothing. I was fine, completely fine. And I'm a morning person, so I'm never groggy when I wake up. I'm always bright and cheery. I'm counting out the drawer so I can like till in. And it was right after we had opened, so I'd already been there for an hour. And I was with a coworker who was my manager. And it felt like time had stopped. And I like distinctly remember this dude. He looked homeless. He was in a trench coat, like brown, but it was like faded brown, like it had lost its color from after so long of wear.
Yeah. Sunday.
Yeah, it's so like it has holes in it. His breath, fucking terrible, dude. His teeth, they weren't there, but like his hair was super long, super messy. Had a long beard. He just looked dirty. And like I'm not one to judge. I was just like, hey, welcome to Little Caesars. What can I do for you? And he tells me he wants a pepperoni, and I happily oblige. I'm like, all right, here you go. And I scan out a pepperoni. He gives me money. Open my register. Put the money in. Give him the pizza. And he, like, I look up. He's fucking gone. And he's still on the side of me. And I go, hey, did you see that guy leave? She's like, what guy? And I was like, you're fucking with me. And she's like, no. I was like, the guy was just in the store. I just sold a pizza to. She's like, Kevin, you didn't move. And I was not believing her. I thought she was fucking with me. I was in panic mode at that point. I was like, don't fuck with me. And I opened the warmer and all the pizzas are still there. So at this point, I'm freaking out in my head. Like, I just decided to let her, like, I was like, all right, never mind. Haha, it was a joke. Like, I played it off. And I'm like, it fucking messed with me. The whole day, I'm thinking, am I going crazy? Like, I know what I saw. I experienced that. And so my break hits. And it's about, like, 5, you know, because I'm pulling a double. And I'm sitting out smoking a cigarette. It was before I had a car. So I was outside smoking a cigarette right on the sidewalk. And the same feeling I had when that guy walks in came up. And it's getting nighttime because it's near winter, so the nighttime's hitting. I can barely see anything out in the forest that's behind us. And, like, I hear my name get called from the forest. And it was the exact same voice. And I stood up, and I was like, dude, if this is the same guy from this morning, you really got me fucked up. I'd walk away. And, like, I don't know what it was, but something wanted me to go into that forest. I didn't take a step into it, but I really, like, I pictured myself in my head standing there running into that forest. Like, after that guy.
Yeah.
I didn't. Because, like, after I started thinking about it all, like, everything hit me back. Everything felt normal again. And I just got really pale. Like, the amount of fear that was in me was, like, it wasn't comparable to anything I had experienced up until that point with, like, any situation paranormal. And it really hit me. I remember telling Michaela for, like, days after that how it would mess with me. Yeah. Like, because I know what I saw. And I personally think that was a demon or like a ghost or something.
That's so crazy. Just can't explain.
I can't explain it, but it wanted me to go into the forest behind my work.
Yeah.
And I remember standing there smoking my cigarette for like the entirety of that 10 minutes, just staring into that forest, and then just like snapping myself out of it was really hard to do because I was like in a trance. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
Have you ever like gone into the forest at all by your work?
Yeah, no, I used to walk through it all the time when I was first starting there.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like that was like a year and a half ago, and I I haven't experienced anything like that.
Skinwalker. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm very familiar with the story of Skinwalker. I have a.
That's Ken in the bed.
Yeah.
While Ken's freaking out real quick, I always wondered with stuff like that if maybe it's also like, if you're more into like believing in like the afterlife and stuff, like someone died in that area and they're trying to like get someone to go like find a body.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, like that documentary you showed me. Remember? Kevin had shown me this documentary when I ended
Blackwell
up.
Ghost.
Yeah, the Blackwell Ghost documentary, and this guy does an investigation on some house that was owned by a murderer, and through the information he was getting from the ghost in the house, he was able to help the police department solve like 8 missing people cases. And the entire time the movie was going to, I was like kind of like telling Kevin, like it wants him to go over there. It wants him to do something there. And I don't know what it is, but when it comes to like ghost shit like that, I'm very like intellectual on what like the idea, aware of what the idea is. Because what I would notice is the ghost would constantly like make banging noises down the hallway. And every time the guy would go down the hallway, it would immediately stop. And it wouldn't bang again because he's doing what it wants it to do. And he's just not completing the task it wants him to complete. So the moment he stops and goes away, it starts again because it's like, no, come back. And I was telling Kevin that the whole thing. But back on like the scary Skinwalker kind of topic, I have a weird story. And to this day, I can't quite explain it, and it kind of freaks me out every time I look at it. Think about it, and like I didn't realize it until recently, like that this had happened. Kevin, you know Anthony. You know Anthony. Jason, Anthony, and Marlo. Or not. He's not going to answer, but you know Anthony. Mm-hmm. You went to school with him even. So, so there was one time over at our friend Dylan's birthday party. We had, at the time, Slender was like a really big deal. Really stupid thing. So we decided that we were gonna put Anthony in a Slender outfit because he had the mask, like a white mask, to go over his face, and we were gonna do a stupid game where we have the person dressed up as Slender go put up pages around, and we would send a team of people out to like find the pages, and Slender would have to catch that team of people or whatever, and like we would try to play it off as like an actual horror thing to where if he caught them, they wouldn't come back. And so we end up doing a couple rounds, and then me and my friend Cheyenne end up going next. And we're kind of running around trying to figure out where everything is. And we see Anthony chasing us the whole time, and he does an amazing job because he'll just like, the moment you look at him, he'll stop and just stare at you. And he won't say a damn thing, and it's kind of freaky. And so we ended up, he ends up losing us, so we end up running into, they had like, the water sewage things, not sewage, but like the storm drains. We end up running into like a big old circle storm drain that you can walk into one side of and walk out the other. Yeah. And we walk into it and we get like a quarter of the way inside of it, and we stop for a second to like catch our breaths because we've been running around literally this whole time. And so we stop in there and start breathing and like end up finding a page in there, and we're just sitting there trying to catch our breaths. And I look over and I see like a head like poke in, like a white head poke in and look on the other side of the tube. And I look over at Cheyenne and I was like, oh shit, there he is. He's on the other side. Let's book it out this way and go. Because he's over there. We're going to be able to get away from him. So we end up leaving and we take off down that direction. And I had always just figured Anthony saw us run. And Anthony was a pretty fast kid. So I figured he had just caught up to us. But he ended up like behind us severely quickly. And me and Cheyenne just played it off as like, you got us, you're fast, yada yada. And then like as of less than a year ago, I was talking to Anthony about that. And I was like, by the way, did you end up seeing us in the storm drain, or did you hear us run out? And he goes, what are you talking about? And I was like, you looked into the storm drain and stared at us for a minute. I figured you had saw us, which is why we ran. And he goes, no. I was standing near the shack because I had no idea where you guys went, and I saw you guys running, so I took off after you. And like in that moment, I was just like, "What the fuck was that? what looked at us, because I Cheyenne even saw it. I even like turned her head. I was like, "Oh, look, he's right there," and she was like, "Oh yeah," and that's why we thought it was a good idea to take off.
That's a whack.
And like I didn't realize that it wasn't him till just a year ago, and it's like really what the hell was it?
Jesus.
That
You
does
got
sound
any-
like a really fun game, though, that like you could set up.
Yeah,
But I think it'd be more fun if you had more Slendermen than just like one guy.
yeah, multiple of them instead of one person.
Yeah, that
What
way it
about-
gives off the appearance of them like moving around faster. Yeah.
yeah.
It's your turn, Jason.
You got another one, Jay?
Not really, no.
You don't have anything
don't-
that's happened to you that's like, it doesn't even have to be paranormal. It's just a scary story.
Or anything that you've heard from people beforehand that me and Kevin probably haven't heard, or even if me and Kevin have heard it, you
I
can
have a
tell the
couple stories
podcast.
that my dad told me that I could talk about right now.
Yeah. What you got, Jay?
If you
got
want to
any
do
other
that, if I think of some, like I'll let you guys know.
one? Okay.
My
Yeah,
grandfather's finger moved when I first seen the first dead person in my life. I went into there and I put the crystal down into his casket. His friggin' finger moved. I fell over backwards. It scared the crap
I
out
would
of
have shit myself. No.
me. Yeah.
I don't know if the mic picked him up, but Ken was talking about how he witnessed his grandfather's finger move in his casket and it scared the hell out of him.
Oh, there was one time down. It was located in Pine Top. I was walking down this dirt road because my friend had terrible friend, shittiest friend I had at that time for sure. But he'd let me stay the night at his house. Well, what he ended up doing that night is dropping me off with another friend of his, and like telling me he'd come back for me. Never came back for me. So I ended up having to fucking walk all the way to his house, which was across Pine Top. And I'm walking down this street. And at the time, I was like playing with throwing knives because my friend David was super into throwing knives.
Yeah.
So him and I would just throw knives at his targets after school for like 2 years. I was doing that. So I got really good with throwing knives. So like I was walking, and like as I'd walk past trees, I'd throw a knife into it. And I'd just take it out and keep walking and shit. And thought I was a badass. But like I'm walking and I see I'm talking like Shaquille O'Neal size dude. Like he's tall, like easily 7 foot. And at the time I'm 16. I'm like, what the fuck? And I stop at my tracks and I like start to go forward because I'm like, hey, it's just a guy. He might be friendly. And something in my head was just like, stop, you need to not. And I stop again. So I'm just watching this thing, and it just starts dashing at me. And I fucking lose it, dude. I throw a knife that way, and I drop the rest of them, and I just kept running. I ran and ran for like a good 30 minutes, dude. I was so out of breath by the time I stopped. I'd never ran that far in my entire life, but I had ran so far away. Like I'd say a good like 5 blocks, like of me just running. So like I stop and I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, what the fuck was that? That was way taller than anything or anybody I'd ever seen in my life. And all I saw was the silhouette.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in my head, like 15-year-old me, I was like, did I just fucking see Slender Man?
At the time.
And like, obviously not, but I don't know. It could be just like, because nighttime messes with your eyes. It could have
Yeah.
been anything. It could have been like my eyes just fucking with me.
Could have just been a bear standing up.
Could have been a bear, yeah. Like, and I probably running
It
away
was
was not the
Sasquatch.
best thing to do if it was a bear, but like still I got away, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It just like that really fucked with me, and I never stepped foot in Pine Top until I met Michaela.
You just avoided it the next.
Pretty much,
There's
yeah.
like, there's like no great way to deal with like getting away from a bear though. Like there's like playing dead, but that doesn't work because bears just eat stuff like no matter what.
Yeah, no, the only thing they say is if you making yourself bigger, trying to scare the bear, and if that doesn't work and they're still charging you, the thing they say to do is to literally curl up in a ball and put your hands behind your head and just wait.
I will fight a bear. I will run at the bear as it's running at me, and I will like Hulk smash his ass. We will collide.
I am gonna get one hit in and then die, and it will be worth it.
Yeah. The thing
No, yeah.
that night of me running away from that though, like, I think the main thing in my head as a kid was like, I can't climb fences. Like Even now, I don't think I could climb fences. But whenever I've been in dire situations to where I need to get out of it, I've always never failed to climb fences way taller than I am.
Just hop that boy.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how, but like if adrenaline kicks in, my brain is instantly like, you're climbing this one way or another. And so like I climbed like 8 fences that night running away from that thing. And even after that, I kept going like for another 20 minutes. Oh, nope. I'm going.
Charging the other direction and praying to God.
The adrenaline was real, dude. Holy shit. As soon as I saw that thing like really quickly start dashing at me, I was fucked. Like in my head, I was like, no.
Yeah, I think I have a similar story, but it wasn't real. It was a dream. The closest time that I had like almost had a severe panic attack was I was having a very vivid dream. Like everything was exactly where it was supposed to be, and in my head, like me touching things, it felt like it was real kind of scenario.
Yeah.
Like it was a very vivid dream. And I was just taking out the trash in the middle of the night, ended up throwing the trash away, and right when I throw it away, I hear something like sound like something step behind me.
Yeah.
And I stopped and I looked and I turned around and nothing was there. And I ended up started walking back to the door to where I was staying, and right when I hit the grass patch, I can hear in the rocks like full sprint like behind me. And it terrified me, and I ran into the house, slammed the door, and ended up falling on the couch and like breathing heavily, like hyperventilating, and I ended up just waking up, and I was just like, what the fuck? It just terrified me. It was the only time where I'd ever woken up and was like completely relieved that it was a dream, because I was almost having a panic attack. Huh?
You ever had a stalker?
A stalker? No.
No.
I've had like what you would call like elementary school stalking, but not like actual
Like go to your house, watch it through a window.
Yeah, no, like
stalking.
like a kid following you around for days in secret and like just looking at you. Like that's different.
A friend of mine who has been stalked like that.
You got his story?
Yeah.
You don't have to say his name if you don't want to.
I mean, like,
I can't
I'm gonna
hear
call him
Kevin
Jeff.
that well.
Oh, hold on, just because his mic's off. Yeah, you're good.
I'm gonna call him Jeff.
Jeff?
Yeah. So Jeff, apparently, there's this like one kid. It was a guy who like wanted to be best friends with him.
Yeah.
And so like one day he like opens his blinds and he sees this kid just like face on the glass staring at him, and this kid just books it as soon as like the blinds go up and sees him.
Yeah.
Jeff sees him. I'll have to edit that. Yeah.
To beep him? Okay.
Once he sees that, the kid books it. But like nights after that, dude, there'd be stuff in his house that would be missing. And his dad, like, at one point would ask him where these items have been, and he couldn't find them, and he didn't know where they were. Eventually, he started thinking that kid was going in his house, because, like, one day he locked the door, and he had a doggy door, but that doggy door was, like, wide open. One morning he woke up, it was wide open.
Yeah.
So at that point, like, they started locking the doggy door with a padlock, and they never had a problem again, but I guess that kid like moved away soon afterwards, and he stopped having like shit missing around the house.
Huh.
And I just want to say right now, if anybody ever stalked me and I found shit missing around my house that was like super fucking obvious,
You did.
dude, you better pray you're bigger than me. You better pray you're Jason size, or you're going down. Even then, I don't know if you'd win.
You think of a story
Now
yet,
with,
Jay?
like, adrenaline going on, dude. That's
No.
rough. Dude, stalking is just that's the worst type of thing, dude. That's worse than any sort of paranormal experience.
Yeah, it's because it's a real thing, and like
Like something you're for sure like about, and like
know what's happening, and
Like,
like, you're
someone
not
is,
thinking
like,
it's
that
just your brain
obsessed.
playing tricks and shit.
yeah, there's a human being out there that is that obsessed. Like not me, but some kid in high school. I won't say his name. Felt real bad.
It was
for him.
me. No, okay.
It was not you. But he had someone like break into his house. I think he caught that guy. Not like actually like stopped him, just like saw him as he was like leaving. But he like, robbed them. But that like really freaked him out because it was just after his mom died.
Dang. Dude,
So
talk
like
about
yeah, he
salt
was
on
going through a
wound.
lot, dude. I know. Yeah, so it was like that just happened. His mom just died. Someone breaks into his house, catches that guy just barely taken off with all the stuff. Like, what a vulnerable position to be in.
Can you imagine somebody breaking into your house while you're taking a shit, like through the bathroom window?
You're just like, you're
Like
in your
he
most
opens the
vulnerable
window and he
state.
just gags. He's like,
In your head, you're just like Robert repellent.
just diarrhea spray through the window. Just
I feel like one of the scariest things, like a realistic thing that would probably just terrify me, just because I wouldn't know what was going to happen by the end of it, because it's a scary situation. Being swatted, like I feel like that would terrify me, dude.
it would definitely.
It wouldn't process in my head right away that I'm being swatted. It would just in my head be like, "There's people breaking into my house with guns."
It would make me a lot more hesitant to stream.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "All right, bitch, if you want to play that game, and you lose privileges."
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Swatting's just mean, dude.
It really is. It's a terrible thing.
Oh, it's more than mean, dude. People have died from it.
Yeah, people,
Really?
Yeah, people have died. Well, it's because
I live under a rock here, so
it's
inform me.
yeah. So the people have died from it just from like basic stuff, because the people breaking into your house, of course, is the SWAT team. They're trained policemen.
Yeah.
They're breaking into your house.
They don't know what
and,
they're going into.
Yeah, no, and neither do the people that are streaming.
Yeah.
In their head, they're sitting in their room, and all of a sudden they just hear their door go, like their front door just bust open.
Yeah.
And it's because they're trying to sneak in there, because the way the swatting would work is they get told, like, yeah, this person's doing this, and he says he's got a bomb.
As a hostage.
Yeah, as a hostage, yada, yada. And so their initial reaction is to try to get in as
Detain
quickly
the
as possible,
situation,
detain the
yes, yeah.
situation. And you have no warning. They're not coming in screaming, police, police. They're busting in and going for you. Like, they're
Yeah.
going to try to get you as soon as possible. And people don't know they're being swatted. And a lot of people in America, first reaction is, someone's breaking into my house, grab my gun.
Yeah.
And then, bam, you're dead because
Yeah.
you had a gun at a cop.
Yeah.
And, like, and it's not the cop's fault.
No, it's
They're-
nobody's fault
yeah.
but the person who called.
Yeah, honestly, and it's a terrible thing, but it happens a lot.
I've heard of that happening to like extreme assholes, but even then, I think that's like the worst measure you can take, because not only are you wasting the taxpayers' dollars,
Yeah,
but you're wasting the time
you're wasting the time
of
the police
everybody
force
just
and-
for what? Like to get a laugh out
Yeah.
of somebody else going through a miserable moment in time.
yeah.
Well, like what? Seriously? Are you that low of a human being to like really just want to fuck somebody's entire life up simply because they didn't play a game how you wanted, or they beat you at the game you played?
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
it is ridiculous.
Like childish on stupid levels. But it's the fact of the matter is adults are doing it. That's the shittiest part.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, it's crazy too, because like people can just like hate this person because they said a certain thing and one of them did. Like
Yeah.
people are just very weird. People
Dumb.
are dumb. I hate people.
Dumb.
It's insane.
You got swatted, Jason?
He's like,
Yeah.
Is that why you brought that up, huh?
Yep. No, I'm curious to see like how many people have died from it.
He went home on Christmas Day, killed his
Oh,
parents.
you're looking up the statistics on how many people died from swatting?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Statistics. That'll be a good way to end this.
Yeah, you want to end it there? The
Yeah, just
statistics
after
SWAT?
the statistics, man. You gotta leave off on a...
I had heard one SWAT story about a guy that was live streaming him going on an airplane, because he was like going on
Oh,
vacation, and
fuck.
somebody called the SWAT team
A
while he was on
bomb
the
threat.
airplane. Yeah, it's terrible.
Dude, that's rough.
Yeah,
I mean, like, honestly, people shouldn't be streaming their lives so openly, though.
no, shouldn't
Like,
be
especially
streaming.
if you're not that decent of a person in general. Like, if you rage at video games all the time, you probably shouldn't be live streaming. Because you're just gathering clips of yourself making an ass of yourself
Yeah,
throughout your life. And, like, you could say, like, oh, I did all this and I have this to show for it, and it's just you raging at a TV screen. People are going to think you're fucking stupid. So, I mean, like, don't post that. Like, I don't see the logic behind, like,
yeah.
people
I
who are
don't,
like,
like
I
I
should live
get
stream.
I get maybe like live streaming like a solid 15-20 minutes because either like you're out doing something interesting like walking around
Just wanna
Disneyland or
interact.
something, like that's what I mean. But like if you're on an airplane live streaming to like
What are you
a
doing?
fan base where you don't trust everybody,
What
like
are you
that's
doing?
that's
What are you
crazy.
doing? I wonder if people do
I don't
that
even
on
think you're
OnlyFans.
supposed to. I don't think you're supposed to have your like. I don't think you're supposed to be like accessing internet on your phone before the plane takes off. Like
Yeah,
I
you
think
are.
you're allowed
You could
to.
do, I think you could do that now.
Oh, okay. I knew. I thought at one point it was a big thing where you couldn't like use your phone until the plane was
Because
in
of
the
the
air.
turbulence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because they're radio signals.
Yeah, the radio
Oh.
signals fuck with it.
It's not turbulence?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's my fault. All the turbulence we do is like fuck up your
Yeah,
audio
just-
quality.
Yeah.
But no, it's a legit plane issue. Like the
I get
plane
you, I
has
get you.
problems if you're doing it.
I get you. I get you.
Did you get those statistics, Jay?
Yeah, it looks like 3 people have died from it, which is not like
In the
It's not
United
insane.
States?
yeah, it's not like an insane number, but it's still
Yeah.
like crazy. Like 3 people
No,
have
that's
died
a
from
problem.
this.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
because 3 people have died from it. It's still a possibility that it could happen.
The sorts of calls. One was someone said there was a bomb threat. Another person made a bet with a different kid to swat the guy. If they
Jesus.
lost like a Call of Duty match, whoever lost had to like call it in.
Jesus.
And then someone reported in a false woman being killed by this one like 60-year-old guy.
Jesus.
Wow. So depressing. Let's leave off on that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, dude,
Well,
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
all I have to add on to all this is don't be an asshole. Don't swat people.
And don't ghost bust unless you got a photon blast. Next time on the Pipeline Podcast.